Imagine the mighty Roman Empire, a civilization that forged vast roads, engineered unparalleled aqueducts, and conquered distant lands. Yet, beneath its impenetrable facade lay a profound vulnerability. Its very lifeblood, the daily bread, was ferried across the treacherous seas. This is the story of Rome's greatest logistical challenge, an epic struggle for survival against an unseen enemy. A narrative of an empire on the brink of famine, held hostage by the shadow fleets of the Mediterranean. It's a tale not just of ships and grain, but of political intrigue, desperate measures, and the dramatic rise of a legendary general. At its peak, Rome was an urban colossus, home to over 1 million souls. Such a monumental population demanded an equally monumental food supply, primarily grain. Bread was not just sustenance. It was the foundation of daily life, a political tool, and a constant source of anxiety for emperors and plebeians alike. Without a continuous, abundant flow of wheat, the city would descend into chaos, its streets echoing with the cries of the hungry. This relentless demand for food made Rome inherently dependent on external sources, creating its most critical Achilles heel. For centuries, the fertile lands of Egypt, blessed by the annual flooding of the Nile, served as Rome's primary breadbasket. Alexandria, the vibrant metropolis at the mouth of the Nile, became the crucial staging point for this immense operation. From sprawling docks, thousands of tons of grain were loaded onto colossal ships bound for Rome. This journey wasn't merely a trade route. It was an artery, pumping life into the heart of the empire. The loss of Egypt's bounty, even for a short period, meant certain disaster for the Roman populace. The journey from Alexandria to Ostia, Rome's port, was a grueling odyssey. Roman merchant ships, though robust, were at the mercy of the Mediterranean's tempestuous moods. Storms could shatter fleets, sending precious cargo and countless lives to the seabed. Navigation was rudimentary, relying on celestial bodies and coastal landmarks. Every voyage was a gamble, a silent prayer to Neptune. Yet, for all its natural dangers, another, more sinister threat began to emerge from the shadows. One born not of nature, but of human avarice and desperation. As Rome's maritime trade flourished, so too did the shadow economy of piracy. Initially a localized nuisance, by the 1st century BCE, pirate gangs had transformed into a sophisticated, organized menace. Operating with impunity from countless hidden coves and fortified coastal towns, particularly along the rugged coast of Cilicia in modern-day Turkey, they preyed on unsuspecting merchant vessels. Their fleets, far from simple brigands, numbered hundreds of swift, well-armed ships, crewed by hardened veterans. These seawolves were about to unleash an unprecedented crisis upon Rome. The pirates weren't merely raiding ships. They were systematically strangling Rome's vital supply lines. Merchant vessels, terrified of the seawolves, either refused to sail or demanded exorbitant fees for the immense risk. Grain prices in Rome skyrocketed, as did the cost of every other imported commodity. Farmers feared sending their produce to market. Coastal towns were raided, their populations enslaved, their wealth plundered. The once thriving Mediterranean, the very lifeblood of the empire, became a gauntlet of terror, threatening to sever Rome's connection to the world. With the flow of grain severely curtailed, the majestic city of Rome began to feel the pangs of hunger. Food riots erupted in the streets, a terrifying sign of social breakdown. The common people, relying on the state's grain dole, grew desperate. Political stability itself tottered on the brink. Roman generals, traditionally focused on land conquests, found themselves helpless against an enemy that melted into the waves. The very structure of Roman governance was threatened. Something drastic had to be done, or the greatest city in the world would starve. In 67 BCE, facing utter collapse, the Roman Senate, against its own traditions, passed the Lex Gabinia. This extraordinary decree granted Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, or Pompey the Great, unprecedented powers. He was given absolute command over the entire Mediterranean Sea and its coasts for 50 miles inland, an area larger than any single province. He commanded immense resources, 120,000 legionaries, 500 ships, and vast sums of money. The weight of Rome's survival rested on one man's shoulders, a gamble on a scale never before witnessed. Pompey unleashed his strategy with breathtaking speed and precision. He divided the Mediterranean into 13 sectors, assigning a legate and a fleet to each. This allowed him to sweep through the western Mediterranean in a mere 40 days, systematically clearing out pirate strongholds and trapping their fleets. Instead of scattering, the pirates were driven eastward, funneling them towards their main bases in Cilicia, where Pompey himself awaited with his main force. It was a military operation of unprecedented scale and tactical genius, designed to eliminate the threat entirely. The final confrontation occurred off the coast of Cilicia. Pompey's overwhelming force cornered the main pirate fleet, forcing a pitched naval battle. The battle was swift and decisive. Rome's superior organization, discipline, and sheer numbers crushed the pirate resistance. Many pirates surrendered, while others were hunted down in their coastal fortresses. Pompey's victory was absolute, achieving in just 3 months what decades of piecemeal efforts had failed to accomplish. The choking grip on Rome's lifeline was finally broken. Pompey's handling of the defeated pirates was as audacious as his campaign. Instead of mass execution, he offered them an unprecedented path to rehabilitation. Many pirates, deprived of their livelihoods, were resettled in new Roman colonies, given land, and integrated into society as farmers. This pragmatic approach not only reduced the incentive for future piracy, but also transformed former enemies into productive citizens, securing peace for decades. It was a testament to Pompey's vision, understanding that true victory meant lasting stability, not just destruction. With the Mediterranean purged of its scourge, Rome's grain supply flowed freely once more. The markets were replenished, prices stabilized, and the fear of famine receded. Pompey's campaign not only saved Rome from starvation, but also ushered in an era of unprecedented maritime security and prosperity. The seas, once a realm of terror, became highways of commerce, further cementing Rome's dominance. This saga stands as a stark reminder that even the most formidable empires are ultimately dependent on the most basic of needs and the power to secure them. The crisis of the grain pirates was a pivotal moment, revealing Rome's intrinsic vulnerabilities and the ingenuity required to overcome them. It underscored the vital connection between effective governance, military might, and the fundamental logistics of feeding an empire. While the threat of piracy would resurface in different forms throughout history, Pompey's decisive campaign established a blueprint for imperial resource protection. It remains a powerful testament to how interconnected our world, even in antiquity, truly was, and how delicate the balance between order and chaos can be. From the sprawling granaries of Egypt to the hungry mouths of Rome, the journey of grain was a lifeline, fraught with natural peril and human avarice. The story of the grain pirates is a dramatic reminder that even the mightiest empires can be brought to their knees by disruption at their most fundamental supply lines. It's a tale of how Rome, faced with an existential threat, mobilized its vast resources and, under the leadership of a remarkable general, secured its very survival. The seas, once a domain of fear, were reclaimed, and Rome's breadbasket was once again full, a testament to its enduring power and adaptability.